This is the HAVN BF360 Flow. It is a mid-size ATX case, and I can safely say it is one of the easiest cases to build in. You know what? Let's just begin with the build first. So this is the second case from HAVN which I have since reviewed. The first one, the HS420, it is a more over-the-top case from HAVN. This BF360, however, though is more toned down, still retains some of the impressive features that was found on the HS420. So first things first, this BF360 comes in both black and white, and this Flow variant comes pre-installed with one 140mm fan for exhaust and two massive 180mm fans for intake. This Flow version costs $30 more than the stock version, but the pre-installed fans do make it easier if you do not wish to spend extra time and effort to decide on what fans to buy for this case. And the two 180mm fans are pretty powerful and silent when you're not running on load. Because of the size of these fans, the 180mm do not need to run at such a high RPM, therefore making them almost silent. So this is HAVN's recommended fan config. The three pre-installed fans as well as the two 180mm which I have just installed. But as you can see, the one on the left is set as exhaust, while the one on the right is set as intake to coincide with the two intake fans. Even with this fan setup, the PC ran almost silent unless there's some load like games or when you're loading up the PC. On a side note, I like that the Q code on this motherboard tells you the temperature of the CPU in real time. So you may be wondering why this fan setup? Besides the low noise, the main appeal behind this case is this slope or scoop which actually serves as an air tunnel to cool the other parts in your PC. Because of this angle, fresh cool air from the intake is directed better to the graphics card, which in turn also helps to circulate air among the other parts in your PC. If you are running at AIO, you usually have 2 or 3 fans at the top for this case, but in this case, no pun intended. Because I have an air cooler, I guess this fan setup is optimal. I do like the idea of having this air slope or scoop, so good job HAVN on this part. And do not worry about removing dust in your system, because there are mesh filters on both the top and front panels. However, these mesh filters are not removable, but you still can wash them when you run running water over those filters. One thing though, there are no options for you to install fans on the bottom or on the side. But I say with this fan config, it is actually more than enough. HAVN did pass me an extra pack of 140mm as well as a 120mm, because you can still opt for either 3x120mm or 3x140mm at the front, and for the exhaust, a 120mm in lieu of this 140mm at the back. That said, if you want me to give you a more thorough view of these new fans, you can comment in the box below. At the exhaust, the BF360 uses a similar grille design taken from the HS420. Rather than just having holes around the fans, this airflow grille design, I believe, also should help a lot with the airflow for exhaust. As mentioned, this BF360 is a mid-size dual-chamber tower. It is pretty spacious and big, and it does have some weight even when it is empty. So even before I saw this air scoop, the main thing that drew me in was this pebble design on the front. It is different, and this front panel is thick. And I do like the texture of it. Feels like a piece of pretty high-end furniture. A good thing here, even with this thick panel, if you have ARGB fans at the front, the ARGB colors will still be visible. You can see through each gap of the front panel well. But that's it, because this is an all-black case, the other colors in your system will look very visible. Or if you wanted to have a black out build, this case is something that you can consider. I hope you didn't skip my build process. Anyway, building in this case was quite a breeze. The BF360, as mentioned, is pretty big and spacious, and I can safely say, because of the very smooth finish, I did not have any cuts or scrapes while building in this case. Even for harder locations such as the CPU 8-pin connectors, you can always remove this top fan tray to reach those areas. This, coupled with the cable management noodles, makes this entire process easier. But that said, I recommend that you install the motherboard first before the top fans, even if you don't plan to install a water-based cooler. For a beginner builder, this is also a good case to consider because HAVN gives you a well-detailed manual. And 2, there are various guides in this case, such as for the motherboard standoffs, and of course the one at the back, which I will get to in a while. For the front I/O, you're gonna get a USB Type-C and A, the front audio, as well as the power buttons. The cables are standard, but I appreciate that the front I/O leads come in one unit, which makes it a lot easier to plug into your motherboard. This CPU support bracket is okay-ish, however, I think it still needs some work. You can set it to be either left or right, and also as high as you can go to reach the housing of your graphics card. I'm still trying to figure out where's the best location to place the arm on the housing of this graphics card. That said, this brace can be stiff, and it does take some work to rotate it and place it beneath your GPU. The supporting bracket also uses the noodle system, but it is a lot stiffer and harder to move compared to the rest of the noodle clips. A clean, well-designed PC makes people happy. Well, sorta, not exactly this one. To make the front look good, you gotta have a great back system. This is HAVN's Simply Cable system, first seen in the HS420. It is not color coded this time, but you still get the same guides on where to route your power supply cables, fan cables, as well as the other cables in your system. I did not follow the guides to the T, but it was still good enough to put the back panel back on the case. If you found it difficult to put the panel back, however, do tie your cables better, and also do not forget to put the screws back. There are also screws that you need to put back for the front panel. I have also briefly mentioned about the, yes, I'm going to call them cable noodles, because they are flexible but also retain a shape when there are no cables going through them. Most of these cable noodles also come with their own cable clips for you to create a gap or window to separate between cables. There are 2 at the top for the CPU power, 2 for the main area, as well as 2 more at the bottom for your fans and front I/O. If you need more clips, you can find them in the accessory box. Quick skip here. I like that HAVN has well labeled each accessory bag. A screw mechanism box will be nice here, but because there are not as many screws compared to the one in the HS420, these plastic bags would more than suffice. The back area also holds the fan hub and controller. For this flow case, the 3 fans are also pre-connected. There are 2 ports left after I've also plugged in the 2 top fans. You can daisy chain these 2 180mm fans. Because there is no fan controller button in this case, you have to run it all via an external fan controller software. Like what I have done here, you plug in all the fans and plug the controller connector part to a fan header on your motherboard. And also don't provide SATA power to this fan controller. However, because you have gone with this route, all of your fans are going to run with the same speed. If you do not want that, you can always have the exhaust fans run off another header on your motherboard. Then you can set different fan curves for the exhaust. If you wanted to have additional storage devices in your system, there are places for you to include a 2.5-inch or 3.5-inch drives. There are 2 cages here, one on top and bottom. These cages are removable. You can easily take them off and install drives and put them back onto the case. There is one more area which you can use to install hard drives. It is located behind the motherboard at this area on the motherboard tray, but I don't see any way to get an additional hard drive tray, so probably you have to use one of these 2 trays in the case and install it in this area. For the power supply area, I also like that it is spacious for both the block itself as well as the power supply cables. Even with a big power supply like this, it just slides in well onto the raised platform. The raised platform allows for a smaller mesh filter, although the drawback is you can only remove it from the back. Most of us will have the PC facing the back like this, so it may be a hassle if your PC is fully flush to the wall. A side mesh filter may be more convenient, but I think somehow it won't fit the aesthetics of this case. Oh, by the way, you also have to give extra props to these 4 feet on the bottom of the case. This BF360 does get a lot heavier when you have components inside this case. But the construction is so good, and these 4 case feet do a very good job to keep the case rooted firmly on the table. So good job HAVN on this. The BF360 may not be loud when it comes to aesthetics, but it is pretty functional. In Cyberpunk 2077 with Ray Tracing Ultra, the 7700X went at about 80 to 81 degrees C on average with a max of 84. But check out the 5080's temps. An average of 58 to 60 with a max of 62 is really amazing. The air scoop does a really good job to direct fresh air better onto the graphics card. So this BF360 Flow is a really good case to consider buying. It is big and easy to build in, which makes it very suitable for beginner or first-time PC builders to get into. And this air scoop is a really good addition to cool your graphics card. I hope HAVN will include this air scoop in their future iterations of cases. So, like if you like this video, comment down below if you want me to give you a better look at the fans, and you can check out my review of the HS420 over there, and catch you in the next video.